This is Dave with NAPCO Tech Support. In this video, we will be discussing how to troubleshoot gateway troubles for both the normal gateways and the USB gateway. As always, please feel free to pause the video at any time if it makes it easier to follow along. For the sake of clarification, when I say gateway troubles, I am referring to when you open your gateway config window and it looks like this here. Your gateways will be red, and you will get a pop-up telling you that your gateways cannot be reached. I will explain how to troubleshoot this for both the regular gateways and the USB gateway. These are not catch-all solutions for every problem, but these are steps and methods to help you solve your problem. These exact troubleshooting steps are also used to troubleshoot issues with discovering gateways. I would also like to take this time to mention that I will be assuming that you have the basic understanding of how to use DL Windows, and that you have the knowledge of how to use a PC. If you don't know how to use DL Windows, then please watch our DL Windows basic training videos first. All of the troubleshooting techniques I will be demonstrating here will work for the old IME gateways, the IME2s, and the IME3s. I will also include a final one that only works for the IME3, and I will mention it when I get to it. The first thing you want to do is verify that the gateway in question is powered up and plugged into the network. Get eyes on the device, and if it's powered up and plugged in, then power cycle it. When I say power cycle, I mean power down the device for 30 seconds or more and then power it back up. After power cycling the device, refresh your gateway's config and see if it goes back to blue. If it doesn't, move to the next step. Next, you want to make sure DL Windows is using the correct network adapter, because some PCs have multiple network adapters. To verify, click on Tools in DL Windows and choose the option Select Network Adapter. You will see here if you have multiple network adapters. Set it to the one that is connected to the same subnet as the gateway. If you don't know, then you can either test it by changing it or asking the IT professional that services the PC you are using. If power cycling the gateway and checking the network adapter doesn't solve the issue, the next thing you want to do is see if the device is reachable from the PC that has DL Windows on it. You can do this a few different ways. One way is to open a terminal window on your PC and type in ping, followed by the IP address of the gateway shown in DL Windows. If it responds, then it is working on the network. If it doesn't, then it is not. Another way you can see if the device is on the network is to check the DHCP client list for your network. If this is a small network that just has a router, then that list is usually found in your router's settings. But if you are on a large network or a domain, then you will have to involve your local IT to figure this out. If you determine the device is working on your network, either by pinging it or by verifying its existence on the DHCP client list, the next thing you want to do is verify that the gateway is on the same subnet as the PC you are attempting to connect with. Once again, you will open a terminal window and this time type in ipconfig /all. This window will show you all of the IP information for your PC, not for your network or other devices on your network, just for the PC you open the terminal on. Look for your IPv4 connection and verify the first 3 octets of the IP address match. For example, if your gateway is 192.168.1, make sure your PC is 192.168.1. If they aren't, then they are on 2 different subnets, and DL Windows is having difficulties communicating with the device on the other subnet. Solving this would require your IT department to make sure the gateway is on the same subnet as the desktop with DL Windows. Finally, the IME3 gateways have a feature that none of the others do, and that is the ability to connect directly to the gateway using a web browser. With your web browser open, type in the IP address of your gateway into the URL bar at the top of your browser. You can see in DL Windows that the IP address for my gateway is 192.168.1.23. So I will type that into my browser. Next, you will be met with this login. The default username is admin, all lowercase, and the password is alarm lock with a capital A. Once you are logged in, you will be met by a lot of options, and there are a lot of things you can do here. But what we will be focusing on is two things. The first is, are you able to make this connection? If you are, then you know your gateway is working on the network. Now, let's say you have determined the solution to solving your issue is to change the IP address on the gateway. Whether it's because it's in conflict with another IP address or it's on the wrong subnet. Well, you can change the IP address on the gateway by clicking on Network on the left and then click on ETH0. Next, click on Configuration. If you need to set the gateway to a static IP address, this is where you will disable the DHCP and then set the static IP address along with the gateway and DNS. When you are finished, click Submit at the bottom. Now all you have to do is power cycle the gateway and test by reconnecting to it through the browser with the new IP address. After you power cycle the gateway, reconnect with the web browser to verify the new IP address is working. And if it is, your next step would be to go back to DL Windows and change the IP address in the Gateways section. Now, if you have to change the IP address on the gateway, you will have to change it in DL Windows before it can be redetected. Go to your gateway config in DL Windows. After you get the fail message, click that window and then select your gateways you wish to edit and click on the Gateways button and choose the option Configure/Edit Network Settings. Once in this window, you will set your network mode to either wired or wireless, check the box to use static IP address, and then fill in your IP address, subnet mask, and default gateway. When you are finished, click Save, then click Yes. Click the confirmation window that pops up, and if your gateway is still red, click Refresh. If you have used all these troubleshooting methods and your gateway is still red or it fails to ping, then your final option will be to delete your gateway and factory default it by holding the gateway's reset button for 30 seconds and then try to rediscover it. I advise only using this method as your final option because in order to do this, you have to unlink your existing lock profiles and remove the locks from the gateway. And since you can't connect to the gateway, the signal will not get to the locks. So each lock will also have to be factory defaulted in order to rediscover them. And if after doing all of this, you still can't rediscover your gateway, then you probably need to replace it. Luckily, troubleshooting the USB gateway is much easier. First, check and see if it's plugged into your PC. If it is, the next thing you will do is open your computer management window and click on Device Manager and look for the section that says Universal Serial Bus Controllers. See if you can find USB Express Device in the list. If it's not in the list, try unplugging it and plugging it back in. If it still doesn't show, then try another USB port on your computer. And if it still doesn't show after that, you either need to install the driver or you need to replace the gateway. If your USB Express device does show in the list but still doesn't work after unplugging it and plugging it back in, the next thing you will do is right-click on where it says USB Express and choose the option Properties. Click on the tab that says Driver. The driver version should read 6.7.2.0, but in this case, even if it does, we are still going to remove and reinstall the driver to eliminate this variable. Next, click on Uninstall Device. Check the box that says Attempt to remove driver for this device. Then click Uninstall. After it finishes, you will notice the USB Express device will disappear from the list. Now unplug the USB gateway from the PC. After you unplug the USB gateway, you will then reinstall the driver. The driver is found in the DL Windows install folder you downloaded from our tech library. If you don't currently have one, go back to the tech library and re-download the DL Windows folder. Remember, you will need to unzip the folder first before you can run the driver installer. Next, you will go into the DL Windows folder and find the folder that says USB Gateway Driver. In that folder, you will run the file that says USB Express Installer _x64. After you finish the installation of the driver, plug the USB gateway back in and verify USB Express device now shows in your device manager. Finally, go back into DL Windows and open Gateway Config and see if your gateway is blue now. If it is not and you have done all these troubleshooting steps, you may need to replace your USB gateway. As always, if you need documentation for any of our current NAPCO products or more videos like this one, head on over to our tech library at tech.napcosecurity.com.